What you guys, got another video here for you on the best antivirus tier list for 2025. I've got 5 categories. We've got the S tier, which is excellent, A tier, which is good, B tier, which is decent, C tier is not terrible, and D tier is to avoid. Now we've got a bunch of them down here. All the main manufacturers out here that are producing antivirus software are listed here. But which ones are the best? And I see this quite a lot, and really, to be honest with you, a lot of these will do a pretty good job at detecting malware. Some are better than others. Some are better than others at protecting you against ransomware. Some have firewalls built into them. Some have a ton of bloat built into them. Some of them don't have great reputations in the past by selling information. We've got all different reasons why these will be ranked differently. And if we ask the opinion of everyone, everyone's going to have their own favorite antivirus program. And of course, it's going to be better than yours because they know better than you. So really, at the end of the day, the best antivirus program out there is yourself, because it's you that's going out there on the internet and having habits like downloading pirated software and things like that and getting yourself infected. So remember, if you have a pretty decent antivirus program and use a bit of common sense, you should be pretty safe on the internet. So let's start off with Avast. Now, Avast have also offered free versions of antivirus. They offer a premium version with firewall protection as well. Unfortunately, as the time went on, they started becoming quite aggressive with upselling their product. If you had the free version, it kept nagging you, you're getting pop-ups, and obviously with that become the decline, because they started bloating it with system cleaners, VPNs, password protection, webcam protection, all this sort of stuff, and it started going down, in my opinion, on the tier list because of that, because the aggressive marketing that they had on that product. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that the antivirus program is not that great because of those reasons. It just means that we're putting it in this category because of the shady past that it's had. It's also been done for selling users browser information as well. And that's a big no-no when it comes to antivirus software. If you can't trust your antivirus software, then who can you trust? So it's going to go in the C tier. Now, also, AVG was purchased by Avast as well. So they're the same part of the same company now. Now, back in the day, AVG used to be on everyone's computer. I used to fix computers back in the day, and AVG was always on there, and it was right up there as one of the most used antivirus programs. And I think they bought AVG out for something like $1 billion or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on that, so you can do a quick search on Google. And because they're linked with Avast, I'm going to put them in the same tier as Avast because they're the same company. So they're going to go into the not terrible category, but obviously with them being linked, I'm going to put them there. Okay, so let's talk about Avira. Now, Avira was owned by Norton back in 2021, I think it was, and they also run Avast and AVG. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put them in the same category. Now, because this company used to offer a free version, a lot of people used it back in the day. I don't think they use it as much now because obviously with the free versions of these antivirus programs, you get a lot more adverts and a lot more nagging. But these companies are all linked, so they're going to go in the same C tier category. You can get a paid version of this software, which does have a total security protection, but I don't think the free version offered a firewall, and it was better than Windows offerings back in the day. Okay, so let's talk about Norton Antivirus. Now, Norton Antivirus, if you're not familiar with it, it was owned by Peter Norton back in the 80s, early 80s, about 82, something like that. Then it changed to Symantec, and then it's the Norton LifeLock or something like that, and it's called now. And they've tried to clean up their image, but unfortunately, it's owned by these companies here as well, or this company owns Avast and AVG. So it got such a bad reputation. Back in the day, it was installed on every new computer, as well as McAfee was. And of course, there was a time trial on there, and it used to run out very quickly, and eventually you'd get infected because the definitions wouldn't come down. And it was sort of behind a paywall. You would use that software. People would never pay for it. And of course, they would end up getting infected. And I used to earn quite a bit of money cleaning up their PC. But of course, it's got such a bad reputation with its price plans and things like that, where you pay £25 for the software and then a year later you're charged £100 odd for that software, and it just comes straight out of auto renew out of your bank. And that's the bad side of Norton, or whether you want to call it Norton Semantic, Norton LifeLock, whatever it is, it's all the same thing. So because they're in the same group as Avast, I'm going to put it down here. It's not terrible. It is actually a pretty decent antivirus program, and it has got some very useful tools that you can still use today to clean up systems. But again, because of its reputation, I'm going to be putting it here. Now, don't get it twisted and think that I'm saying that these are rubbish and you shouldn't use them. I'm just putting them in this category because of the opinion that I'm giving you. Okay, so let's talk about McAfee. Now, this is everyone's favorite, surely. It has to go into the excellent category. Of course, I'm joking. It's obviously one of the ones that people hate most, and I think it's because of its bloatware and its nagware, and of course its pricing plans, how they auto renew and all this sort of stuff. And John McAfee, God rest his soul, he was a funny character, but I think he even said that he doesn't own it, don't buy it, don't use it, it's crap. And that's what John McAfee said himself. And of course, it's been around for a very long time. This was also pre-installed on people's PCs, and it had trialware on there, and it would run out and people would get infected. And I just think it's just stuck in people's minds and they just don't like it. And of course, if the public don't like it, they're not going to use it or buy it. And they might still install this onto brand new laptops. I've seen it on there. They still do the same dirty tactics. And of course, people don't like that, and they will just uninstall it, even if it's got a month's trial. So it's not a terrible antivirus. It's just in the category. I mean, I'm sort of hovering down into the avoid section myself, because of the bad reputation that it had. And I'm even tempted to put Norton down in the avoid area because of its bad reputation that it had. But I'm going to leave those ones where they are here, and I'm going to leave the McAfee in the avoid section, just because I don't want to be getting absolutely ripped in the comments section if I put it up in the good or decent. Because believe it or not, it has a full security package. You get a lot of features with it, but I just can't recommend using that particular antivirus program. And I guarantee you, if you go online today and you do a search for the best antivirus program, guess what antivirus programs are going to be 1 and 2? And it's going to be Norton Antivirus and McAfee. And that's because a lot of those sites are all affiliated and they've got affiliate links and they want to get the most money out of you. And these companies probably pay the most premium, I would have thought, for those affiliate links. So that is probably the reason why it's got such a bad reputation as well. Okay, so let's talk about WebRoot here. Now, WebRoot has been around for quite a while, and it's used mainly in businesses as well. So you probably haven't heard of this one as much. So I'm going to put this into the decent category. I haven't done any testing on this software, but I have looked at some of the stats for it, and its detection rate wasn't that great, to be honest with you. There was quite a few flaws in it, but there was also some good plus sides to it. So I want to give it a decent category. I don't want to put everything down in the not terrible category. So we're going to put this in the B tier category. But again, without testing, I really wouldn't know whether this was any good or any bad. So I'm going to keep it in the mid of the road sort of tier. And this moves on to Windows Defender. Same thing goes for Windows Defender, really. It's not a bad antivirus, but it's not great. It is pretty weak on ransomware, and it's going to allow ransomware to get onto the system. And it comes free built into Windows. And as long as you're sensible and you know what you're doing, then you should be okay with Windows Defender. But again, it's not good and it's not excellent. It's just okay, if you know what I mean. It's a decent antivirus. It does have pretty good detection rates on some of the stats online. But like I said, I'm not going to put it any higher than that because I just think it's a little bit weak at certain areas. Okay, so let's talk about Trend Micro. Now, that's been around for a very long time, and back in the day, you used to see it on people's computers quite a bit. But over the years, it sort of disappeared a little bit. People don't use it. They use much more advanced antivirus programs like Kasperski, Bitdefender, and ESET, and programs like that. It is still a business level sort of antivirus program, and you may still see it in businesses. And again, but because of its popularity, I think it's just tumbled down the tier list, in my personal opinion. And I'm not going to put it into the not terrible category. I think it's a decent antivirus. It still offers some form of protection, and it can't be any worse than Windows Defender. Okay, so let's talk about Malwarebytes. Now, Malwarebytes was my go-to for scanning for malware, adware, and other nasty stuff on the PC. And it was a really great tool for that. But then they changed to becoming a antivirus program. And to be honest with you, that's when I stopped using it, because I've realized that the actual software wasn't great. It was really clunky, and it weren't really the best out there. And it started tumbling down the tier list, in my opinion. Now, they have been working very hard on this particular software to make it a much better software. I don't think it's great protection against ransomware, but I do believe that it's still a decent antivirus program. And I'm going to put it into the decent category right here. And let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below, whether you do actually use this as an antivirus program and whether you're happy with it, and what the system resources are like with it, because I'm a little bit out of touch with sort of things like this. This is why I'm saying to you, take a lot of this stuff with a pinch of salt, because it's just an opinion-based chart. I've not done any sort of extensive testing on any of this software for quite a while. Okay, so let's quickly talk about ESET. Now, where is ESET ranked on my list? Well, I use ESET on my system, but don't think for 1 second that I'm actually just going to favor it because it's on my system. I've tested a ton of these over the years, and I can honestly say that ESET is pretty lightweight. It's packed with features, and if you configure it properly, it can actually be a very good antivirus program. Now, it might not be the best at detecting ransomware, and it might not come up on the best charts for the best antivirus against ransomware, but it is a pretty good all-round system. And I do actually like it because you don't actually get nagged everywhere, and it's not full of bloat like, say, Avast and AVG and these other types of antivirus programs. So I'm going to put that into the good category. I wouldn't put it in the excellent because that wouldn't be fair, because I am actually using that and it would look like I'm being a bit of a shield for ESET. So I'm going to put this in the good category for this particular antivirus. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is Sophos. Now, Sophos has been around for quite a while. They do actually have a business grade version and a home version. I don't think they do a free version of Sophos, so it is a paid piece of software, but it's a very sort of low impact on the system. It doesn't use a lot of system resources, and it's also not bombarding you with adverts to upgrade and stuff like that, like a lot of these other ones like Avast and AVG do. And I do believe that it is a pretty decent antivirus program. And I'm going to put it in the good category right here because it is a pretty decent all-round antivirus software. Okay, so what about F-Secure? Is F-Secure excellent? Well, unfortunately, it doesn't have a free version available. It doesn't have a firewall built into their software. It is designed for businesses and consumers, so you can use this as a home user. But without that full package, and there's no free version available, it's going to have to go into a sort of decent level really here. This means that this level can go up and down. So when they make advancements in technology, like for instance WebRoot, I would say that it's not terrible, it's decent, and it's not terrible. It's in that sort of category right here. The same thing for Trend Micro. They've been around for a very long time. They know what they're doing. Some people might put it in the good category, but we're just going to leave it in the decent category here because I think that's where they sort of are. Some of these aren't even in the paid testing lists, so they don't want to be tested on a regular basis. That's why you don't see them in those lists, because they're not willing to pay companies to do extensive testing with malware samples on their software. And I think you need to be in there to be able to rank yourself up near the very top. Now, quickly want to point out the importance of testing before we continue with these last three. The importance of testing this software is to find out its vulnerabilities. And a lot of companies don't actually pay big security companies to test their software. And that's why you don't see them in any sort of rankings or lists, because they have to pay to be tested. And again, like I've said before, if you're going on YouTube and watching someone scan a folder or pulling files off the network, and these files have been kept in their folder for a number of months or even years, a lot of these are old samples, and these are already going to be in the definition database of their antivirus, and it should be able to detect them and remove them from the PC. What these companies do is find fresh live samples that are in the wild and they haven't been added to any form of database. And what will happen is these can slip through the net and get onto the system. So it's important that stringent testing has been done on that software to make sure it's capable of protecting your PC. And we all know how important ransomware protection is. And unfortunately, it's probably one of the hardest ones to stop. And a lot of these software just cannot block them, and they just end up getting infected. So always choose an antivirus program that does the best protection against ransomware. And the last couple here that I'm going to show you do protect you very well against ransomware. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is Total AV. Now, if we go by the rankings on the internet, it's going to be an excellent antivirus program to buy. Unfortunately, the internet is not always right, and they pay heavily in marketing to get there. They've got it on every website, and there's affiliate links on there. They pay for YouTube adverts to be frightening people and how to block this and how to stop that. They don't have a free version. They don't have a firewall, which means you're vulnerable to network attacks. And again, it's all about marketing. The more money you have, the higher ranking you're going to get. Affiliate links, you've got people on YouTube promoting them as well. And this is why I'm not going to put them in that category. I do think their marketing is pretty aggressive and doing that fear-mongering sort of stuff that Norton used to do and McAfee used to do back in the day. And for that, I'm going to put them down into the avoid section. But again, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Because I personally, if you go and do a search on the internet and have a look, you'll see that in all of the top 10 best antivirus programs, you'll either see Norton, McAfee, or Total AV right up there. And they don't mention any of the ones like, say, for instance, Bitdefender or Kasperski or any of those. So for that reason, just for the marketing, aggressive marketing campaign, it's going to go down here. Now, it could be a really good antivirus program, but unfortunately, it's going to be down there until they clean up their act a little bit for my tier list to be putting you up there a little bit. Remember, these are just my opinions. Take everything with a pinch of salt. You choose whatever you want to do with your money. If you want to purchase something like that, by all means, do so. Anyway, let's move on to the very last two here, and we're going to go on to Bitdefender. So is Bitdefender a not terrible or avoid, or is it a decent or good or even excellent antivirus program? Well, in my personal experience with Bitdefender, it's been up the top for many, many years. And if you look at all the stats for Bitdefender, it's always up there. They pay for all their testing, so you can openly see what testing's been done on their software. They have a free version. They have a total security version, which is going to protect you on the network. It's pretty decent against ransomware protection. All in all, I would say it's right in the middle on that line there. That's where it is, because they bobble up and down on the excellent to just in between good and excellent as well. So it's sort of here, but you can't put it there. So for that, I'm going to put it in the excellent category, because I do believe it's pretty lightweight. You don't get a lot of aggravating pop-ups like you do with, say, Avast and AVG and a lot of these other companies down here that are fighting for sales, and the same thing for Total AV. That's what they tend to do, but they tend to rely on quality, and I think that's what you get. Now, the scan on this one is pretty slow. It's not the fastest scanner out there, but it is pretty decent. And by all means, go out there and do your own research and make your own decisions, because I could be completely wrong at the end of the day. So let's move on to the very last one, which is Kasperski. Okay, so where do we leave Kasperski? Well, Kasperski has had a major dark cloud looming over the top of it because of what's going on in the world with the war in Ukraine. And unfortunately, this software belongs to Russia. And they are saying that there's nothing dodgy going on with their software. Unfortunately, America have blocked them from using Kaspersky in the United States, which is obviously going to hurt Kaspersky quite heavily. Now, does that mean that it is down here to avoid? I can tell you right now, it's not going to stay down there because it is actually excellent. It is one of the best, if not the best software to use today for protecting you against ransomware, zero-day, and all the other nasty stuff out there. It is right up there. It just edges out Bitdefender, in my opinion. It's tit for tat, but I do believe Kaspersky has a better ransomware protection. It has a load of tools available to you as well to remove nasty stuff. They seem to be bleeding edge there. There's also another company called Dr. Web as well, which I didn't put on here, which is another software which I should have reviewed. But we're just going to stick to this. I'm going to leave that into the excellent category. I'm going to be controversial and leave it there because I do believe it's still very, very good indeed. So what do you think of the list so far? I do believe that it's a pretty decent and fair categorization of these software. Okay, so that's the tier list now complete. There is a few that I can add in there as well, but let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below, what you guys think and what you use on your PC. I'll be interested to read your comments. Remember, just take this with a pinch of salt. It's just a bit of fun. At the end of the day, there's no extensive testing being done. It's just opinions on particular types of software. But honestly, check the stats, do a bit of research yourself, and you'll find that this list is pretty much as accurate as you can get. Anyway, with that said, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a quick shout out to my YouTube members. I appreciate the support, and I shall catch you in the very next video, or I'll catch you on the Discord server. Have a lovely weekend. Bye for now.